Hello everyone and welcome to another Blender Made Easy tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a look at 5 ways to instantly improve the look of your fire using cycles. I'll be showing you how to create a simulation that looks like this and turning it into something much better like this. Now this video primarily focuses on the settings in cycles, not Eevee. If you wanted to see an Eevee video, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to follow along with this video, you can download this startup blend file. It has a basic simulation right here. All you'll need to do is just bake in the data over in the domain settings. So the first thing that we're going to do in this video to improve our simulation is work on a more complex material. Because at the moment, if we jump over to the material tab, we can press Z and go into the rendered view. We can see our fire is not that bright, it's not that saturated, it just does not look that good at all. So instead, we're going to be creating a custom fire shader, which will allow us to change the color, the brightness, and how much fire is in the scene. So to do this, we're going to come up to the top right, split this view, and then switch it over to the shader editor. Then we'll press N to close off that panel, and now we can see our basic material right here. First, get rid of the black body intensity. We're not going to use that, and instead, we're going to be coming over here, press Shift A, go over to Input, and then we're going to be adding in an attribute node. With this attribute node, we can then take any attribute from the fire simulation and plug it into the material. Now you can use temperature, velocity, there's a ton of different attributes, but the one we're going to go over in this video is called heat. So type in heat, all lowercase, and then enter. To actually plug this in, we're going to need a couple more nodes. First, we're going to add in a color ramp, place that here. Take the factor, plug it into the bottom input. Then we're going to add in a math node, so go over to utilities, math, and then select the math node right here. Take the color, plug it into the top input, switch this over to multiply, then take the value and plug this into the emission strength here. Now we're starting to see something in our scene, but we want to be able to control the color of this. So what we'll do is we'll select the color ramp, Control Shift D to duplicate it while keeping the connection, and we're going to drag this into the emission color. So now we have a couple of nodes here, and this bottom one controls the color. This one on top controls how much clamping we have on the fire, and then the multiply node controls the brightness of the flame. So for now, we'll set this up to around like 15 or so we get some nice bright flames. And then for this color ramp, all we want to do is just drag the black handle closer until we get the look of flames, something like that. And that is starting to look a lot better. The other thing I like to do is switch this over to ease to give us a smoother transition. And then finally, we're going to drag the white handle over a little bit. We'll add in a new handle, drag this one all the way to the right side, and we're going to set this one all the way down to black. Now this is going to give us a lot more detail in our fire. So now what's basically happening is the beginning of the fire is transparent, then it has some brightness in the middle, and then it becomes transparent at the end, which gives us this really nice look. Then for the color right here, we're going to add in a new handle. This is going to be a nice orange reddish color. We'll drag that over to the right side, and then for the white handle, this is going to be a nice yellowish color, something like that. Then over in the multiply node, let's go up way higher. Let's go all the way to 100. Just doing that is going to give you a lot more detail in your fire. But at the moment, we can see our fire looks very desaturated. There's not a lot of color that pops out. So the next tip that we're going to go over is the color management. If we jump over to the render settings, scrolling down all the way to the bottom where we have the color management tab right here, currently we're using the AGX view format. Now this works very well for most scenes, but what it does is it basically desaturates highlights in your render. Now for this in particular, when we're working with fire, we want our fire to be very vibrant. Using AGX though is going to desaturate your fire. So instead of using AGX, we're going to switch it over to the filmic mode. And there we go, we can already see some saturated colors coming back into our scene. And then for the look, we're going to set this over to high contrast. Now that we've done that, we can play around with the color ramp until we get more orange coming into our scene. Something like that will look pretty good. And now this is starting to look a lot more like fire. Another big problem that you might notice in your simulation is the edges of our fire are very pixelated and kind of square. You can see here we have all this jagged edges right here, which do not look good at all. Now, one very quick and easy way to fix that is to jump over to the Material tab, scroll down to the settings, and then underneath the volume settings, the interpolation mode is set to linear. This gives us that jagged edge. If we instead switch it from linear over to cubic, now we get a much smoother edge right here, and this is going to look so much better when we do our final render. Just doing that simple setting will completely change the look of your simulation. The fourth way to improve your fire is to add motion blur when you do your final animation. And for this to work, we can jump over to the domain settings, scroll all the way down to the render tab, and then this setting right here, velocity scale, this controls the amount of motion blur in your fire. Now for this to actually work, we need to jump back over to the render tab and then enable motion blur right here in the render panel. There are two different values that you want to keep in mind here, the shutter value here and the velocity scale value. The velocity scale value deals with specifically the fire blur, whereas the shutter amount deals with motion blur for the entire scene. So if you only wanted a little bit of motion blur for other objects that are moving around in your animation, turn the shutter value down. And then if you wanted more blur in your scene only on the fire, you're going to want to turn the velocity scale value up. Now, what value do we want to put for this setting here? Now, with a value of 1, you're going to get a crazy amount of motion blur. You don't want to go higher than 1 actually. Normally, when I do a render, I go much lower down to around a value of 0.1 or so, and that gives a pretty good amount of motion blur. And then for the shutter amount, I like to go with a value of around 0.5. You can see some differences on screen at the different values, but there's also another thing that you want to keep in mind when enabling motion blur when using the heat attribute. There is currently an issue with this setup here, and basically what's happening is since the heat value is a lot more than just this section here, you can see we have all of this extra data on the top here. So if we were to render motion blur with the heat attribute, you're going to get some pixelation when you do the final render. One way to fix this is instead of using the heat attribute, we can actually use the flame attribute. So if we type in the word flame, we can use this attribute instead. We will have to change the color ramp by dragging this over to the left side here, dragging this a little bit this way, and then if you wanted to try to bring some of that detail in, you could bring in that black handle, but it's not going to look the same as the heat attribute. You can see here it looks similar, but it's not as detailed. So that's kind of the trade-off. If you wanted to add clean motion blur, use the flame attribute. If you want to add detail with not a lot of motion blur, use the heat attribute. Since I like the detail, I'm going to go back to the heat attribute. And then for the velocity scale, we're just going to go down to 0.05 and enter, and that will look pretty good. The last way to improve your fire is by adding in a little bit of glare in the compositor. So what we can do is press F12 to render out an image, and once the image is done, we're going to be adding in some glare. Go ahead and hit escape, and then over in the compositor, we'll create a new system right here. We'll drag this down a little bit, and to zoom out, you can press V a couple of times. And first, we'll add in a background. So I'm going to press Shift A and go over to the search, and we'll just type in alpha over. So add in an alpha over node, take the image, plug it into the foreground. And then for the background, we'll just go down to almost black, something like that. Then to add that really nice glare, we'll press Shift A, go over to filter, and then add in a glare node, and we'll place that here. For the mode, switch it over to fog glow. If you wanted to use bloom, you could do that. It adds a similar effect, but I just think fog glow looks a bit better. And then for the size, I'm going to drag it up until I get something that I like. Somewhere around there is good. And then you could play around with the strength if it's too high or too low, but probably around 0.9 is pretty good. From here, go ahead and render out your animation. But there we go, we've now covered the 5 ways to instantly improve the look of your fire simulation in Blender. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, give it a like and comment down below what you would like to see next. And if you wanted to grab the final blend file for this tutorial, you can head over to my Patreon, the link is down in the description. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.